Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you the curriculum that I'm using for the 2020-2021 school year. Okay guys, before we get started, I just wanted to note that even though I am showing you all secular curriculum today, meaning that there is no religious component weaved into my curriculum choices, it does not mean that you can't add in your own religion and that you can't add in whatever religious study that you would like to add in to your curriculum choices. My husband and I's decision to go all secular was not necessarily a reflection on our personal viewpoints. We just were really limited on the types of curriculum choices that we felt would not only meet their educational needs, but met our blended families' needs as well, because our older two kids who homeschool do go back and forth to another households at times throughout the month. So it was important that we found a curriculum that we could transport back and forth and that the other household could be involved in if they so chose to be. I also want to note that not every homeschool family in the United States is in fact Christian. There are so many different religions that are practiced in the United States and all over the world. So what's right for one family is not going to always be right for the other. And even within certain religions, there's different branches like Protestantism and Catholicism. So no matter what type of religion you belong to, it is always possible to add in your religious component to a secular homeschool. But if you do not belong to any one religion, you can always take out the religious aspect and just focus on the homeschool curriculum. So I want to start out by sharing with you the curriculum choices that I am doing with my second grader and my kindergartner together first. And then I will show you the few differences that my kiddos are doing separately. So the first thing that we are working on together is the curriculum Blossom and Root. And I love this program so much. There is no hard copy, which honestly, I'm a huge fan of hard copy just because pages get messed up. But you download it through a PDF file. You can have it printed and bound if you would like to. I actually just put it in a binder because I wasn't exactly sure if we were going to really love this curriculum or not. So to start off with, I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on binding if it really wasn't going to meet our needs like right off the bat. So when I looked at the sample pages on Blossom and Root's website, I was able to see what each volume of each age group contained. And I was pretty amazed that this curriculum that we are using right now, it is for ages 2 to 4. And I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous considering this is teaching a kindergartner and a second grader. But when we dive into this in just a minute, I think you will maybe see how I was confused how a 2-year-old could do this curriculum. So this curriculum actually breaks it down into subjects and into a week. So for an example, like week 1 has a nature study. So you're able to get out, you're able to go with your kids, you get outside, you talk about the 5 senses is what they have it listed. Then there is a composer study. So they introduce a new music composer every single week. For the first several weeks, we focused on Mozart, which was really fun for the kids. We'd play Mozart while we painted and while we did any other activity that we could incorporate music into. It also does have a math and science portion. I will say that this math and science that is included is a little young for my kindergartner. So I was happy that we were able to include my math and science in another way, but that the math and science were definitely more geared towards ages 2 to 4, but the rest of it was easy to, they loved it. They loved it no matter what age they were or are. So it also includes a picture study. So for the first several weeks, we focused on Vincent van Gogh. So we looked at pictures that he painted. We made our own picture to mimic his. We studied colors, we studied paint techniques. It was a very, very in-depth look at Van Gogh, and for their age group, they loved it. Absolutely loved it. It also shares a kindness and connectivity goal for the week. It shares a kitchen classroom goal for the week with baking and helping cook in the kitchen with your parents. There's a read together time. So for the first week, it was Little Blue Truck. So there was an experience opportunity, little games that you can play to go along with the story that you read, and engagement prompts, questions that it asks about the story, as well as predictions and things like that. So even though you could technically do this curriculum for a younger child, I do not feel like my 2-year-old got nearly as much out of it as my 6 and 7-year-old did. This was the curriculum that I mentioned in my last video about homeschooling with toddlers and babies at home, because this does definitely engage my 2-year-old's interest. We're able to get him involved in the reading and in the painting, and he dances to all the music, and we get him outside and he plays with us while we do our nature walks, etc. But most of the activities that are in here are definitely, in my opinion, more geared towards older kids, for them to develop a deeper understanding of it. So we do this together, this curriculum. This is not a curriculum that we do on our daily schedule. We do not do an art study every single day, and we do not do the music composer study every single day. We do this probably every other day. So this is not something that takes up the majority of our time. The next thing that my kids do together is all about reading. I really, truly love this program. When I was looking for a reading program to do with my 2nd grader, it was a struggle for me because she had a really huge reading problem in public school. She was in the reading specialist room in 1st grade. She was extremely behind the rest of the kids in her class. And whenever COVID hit, she was so far behind, we were concerned about holding her back due to her reading ability. So I wanted a mastery approach reading that she could build on that was more phonics based and not so much word card memorization, which is what she was learning at public school. So All About Reading is a multi-sensory lesson that involves, I'll just show you because I set up the board. So it comes with these tiles that are magnets, and you get a whiteboard, or you can even use like a metal tin from the kitchen, but it has you pull down the tiles like this in order to blend words together and make the words so your student can read them. So it comes with a teacher manual, an activity book. It comes with readers, which are really, really sweet readers. There's really sweet stories in here. And then it comes with a bunch of word cards. So you have not only the word cards that they learn to read on their own, but it also has the cards with the phonic sounds on them. So you use both in each lesson. And I started with my 2nd grader on All About Reading Level 1. And technically, I think that All About Reading Level 1 is more geared towards 1st grade age group, but she had such a limited understanding in reading that it really did her well to go back and relearn some of those fundamental concepts that I think she wasn't grasping. So I started her and my kindergartner at All About Reading Level 1 at the exact same time. And so they were able to play the games together. We were able to do word drills on the whiteboard together. It ended up being really great. And now both my kindergartner and my 2nd grader are on All About Reading Level 2. And that brings me to my next thing. We are doing All About Spelling. You cannot start All About Spelling until after you have completed All About Reading Level 1, because the two curriculums are intertwined with each other. I do think you could do all about spelling without all about reading, considering they are different subjects, but I have found that it has worked really well for my kids to do both together. So this comes with the same thing. It comes with word cards, phonics cards, and this has helped my daughter become a much, much better speller. Even when she became fluent at reading, her spelling still struggled quite a bit due to her speech problem. So she wasn't able to say the word appropriately in order to hear it to spell. With All About Spelling, it teaches you how to spell a word based off tricks that you learn and not off what you hear. So this approach has really helped her, and I'm pretty sure I have seen several reviews of moms with like dyslexic children and other reading disabilities that have really thrived with this curriculum. The next curriculum that I do with both of my kids together is Saxon Math. My kindergartner is on Saxon 1, my second grader is on Saxon 2, but we are using the same curriculum for both. When I was looking at Saxon kindergarten, I felt that my kindergartner was past that, mainly because his math ability is so strong. I felt that we had already covered the kindergarten math components just in everyday play during the summer. So for him, it was best to start off with Saxon 1. But with All Saxon comes with a teaching manual, which, you know, basically explains how to teach the lesson step by step. I've never been confused using it. And then it comes with a student workbook. So you can either copy the work or you can tear it out and buy new workbooks per kid. We actually make copies just because sometimes we go back and redo some of the lessons for practice. And this was a really, really good thing to be able to copy and send to the other parents' home for us without having to send the entire curriculum with them. So that really worked well for them. Okay, so separately for my second grader, we are working out of a writing skills book that I purchased at Barnes & Noble. It was only about $9, and I do feel like it has strengthened her writing skills. There are several writing prompts in it that you can choose from. Fill in the word. There's things that talk about proofreading and how to edit things. So this has been a really good workbook for her to work independently, especially if I'm working with her little brother and I'm trying to find something to do to keep her engaged, to keep her busy. I also use the Spectrum books as supplements for my kids. They are really, really awesome, but they are also good time fillers. As I said with the writing book that I just showed you, sometimes I need to give her something that she can read the directions and figure out herself, that she does not need my help, but that will still push her to learn. So I really love this book. We work out of several pages in here every single day. It's really helped her with capitalization, nouns, pronouns, adjectives, verbs, all of those things that have made her writing improve. So I do like combining this with the writing book to help her for language arts. And for my kindergartner, we do the Spectrum Language Arts for Kindergarten. It is much more simple than obviously the second grade. It's a lot of tracing letters and writing practice and fill in the blanks, things like that. But it has been really good practice for him to get his writing perfected and to feel more confident with letter recognition and spelling with the first and ending sounds to things. And last but certainly not least is our social studies and our science. I like to make my own unit studies every single month depending on what's going on, whether it's a holiday or something fun like birthdays or whatever's going on in our month. If it's summertime, if it's cold outside, our unit study usually reflects what's going on in the month. So right now we are working on a Black History unit study as well as a mental health unit study. So in both of those unit studies, we are learning science, we're learning social studies, we are practicing our writing, we are doing reading time with both of those. Our unit studies incorporate all of the curriculum subjects together all in one study. So we do a little bit out of each unit study per day, and usually my kids ask to do our unit studies even on the weekends because they love, love, love our unit studies. It's not something that they see as work, they see it as fun. Where we live, they do not even teach science and social studies until I believe 3rd grade. So I try to find material that's going to engage their learning and that is age appropriate enough that they can comprehend and understand. So, all right, guys, well, that is what I'm using for our school year this year. It has worked exceptionally well. I don't want to jinx us because we are getting so close to the end of the school year, but I've seen such great improvements from the end of last year until now. My kindergartner loves school, and that is something I never thought I would hear him say because it was like pulling teeth to try to get him to practice his alphabet prior to kindergarten. So I have no regrets with the curriculum that we chose. It has engaged them on a daily basis and they absolutely love, love, love doing it. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it so much. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.